Hello, my squirrely minions. Lord Cracker Squirrel here with the lovely kitty.
Hello, everybody.
And this is ADHD Gamer Alice in Wonderland. And let me just go ahead and click off here and do that. This is the Steam page for actual game. So, uh, they do give you some advice in the initial going. How far can curiosity and dreams take us? Which wonderful situations can we discover once we get carried away by the adventure? Even though it's been 150 years since this publication, the acclaimed novel by Lewis Carroll still remains as one of the greatest artistic works in the world. This is not untrue. However, we got some stuff going on here. The Mad Hatter, the Dormouse, and the the March Hare. So they want $4.50 for this, and it was actually just recently released. So let's get this here haze gray underway, shall we? We have about 11 minutes worth of footage for this, and really that's all we had to have. Okay, so back to it. The music is fun. They did a thing with the playing cards here, which is actually quite clever when they dealing with the main menu. It took me a minute apparently to get things together. I'm not sure what happened here. Selection of languages, including Portuguese. So you can pick your text language because there's no spoken language here at all. There's your thing. Wait till the text is completely displayed before you save because that actually will cause a crash. I know. I tried it. It didn't go well. All right, chapter 1, down the rabbit hole, and yeah, there's our bunny. There's Mr. Bun Bun, and what they've done here is they put together a bunch of. There's another glitch I found, by the way. If you set it in full screen mode, the little menu icons they vanish, they go away. They're still there, they're still present, but they're not. But you will not be able to see them. So you will have to run it in window mode. All right. And there is your backlog if you want to look at that. There's save, the load, and all this other sort of nifty stuff. Um, there is the white rabbit. Sigh. Okay. So we have Alice in her cute little dress and chasing off after the white rabbit, and her sister just there. Now, I'll give them props for the artwork. They went to a lot of trouble to do a lot of different work to try and get this actually to work, to get this whole thing functional. But it's really the only thing they've done here is art. They've done no real coding, aside from just plug the text in, window by window. And maybe that's the way that's the way they want it. I really think they probably could have done a bit more with that. You see, they've got some really lovely animations in the background, like that clock right there. Actually, both clocks. But a lot of this is still, and even if it weren't, even if they'd left the clock still, it the imagery is evocative, but they're not doing anything new here. I mean, there's any one of this has been done in live action. There's been any number of cartoons. Hell, Disney did a movie. Okay, the reason we have it here right now is because it really needed it. Lots of creativity in the art. you might want to think about how you're approaching this in terms of story. You could have at least done something other than uh, you could have tried putting the story together a little differently or rewriting it in your own terms. But at this point, all you're doing is you're echoing Carroll, and you've got some artwork that might be pretty. Okay, and if you want to be able to read the thing, well, that's great. There's your white rabbit again, and this does not look good. There's a certain amount of that you're going to get away with, and yeah, a white rabbit in the original book was male. That is most definitely not one. Actually, I don't think there are any
Yeah.
male image. I don't think there's any actual male imagery in the entire game, including uh, the Mad Hatter. The, I was kind of half hoping we did. See what I probably would have done is I would have done a little puzzle game. You set it up, and then you go and you look and you do the things. Even if it was tightly scripted, you'd still get some sort of interactivity with this. There are a lot of ways you could have done this, and this is probably the lamest way to do it, if you ask me. Yes, the story will go on as expected, but it's a kinetic novel. It's really not gonna be. If you want to read Alice in Wonderland, great. We're completely okay with that. If you want to read it with the pretty pictures like that and some of the most inconsistent and some of the art being a little inconsistent, if you don't mind that, then by all means, knock yourself out. But for me, I wasn't impressed. I don't know what you're thinking at this point, Kitty.
It takes a long time to change the picture.
Some visual novels are like that. I think you got kind of spoiled on Bob Love there, where they had a pile of freaking art to work with. I mean, I've done things like this before. Usually, I at least get some choices in there and some kind of interactivity to make it kind of more to get some more into it, so that you don't wind up having more issues than you need to. Um,
Uh, the thing is, there is no interactivity here.
Near as I can figure, it's a kinetic novel. There's really not choices going on. So,
Mm.
um, I mean, I thought it was a really neat idea. I wanted to like this game. I really did. Because Alice in Wonderland, as stated before, as the game itself stated in the description there, uh, is a timeless classic of literature, of English literature. But I think maybe a little different treatment would have been better. That's my opinion, though. I could be wrong. But yeah, I think that's pretty much going to do it for me. Do you have any more comments there, Kitty?
Mhm. No, I'm not impressed.
All right. So, for a kinetic novel, I would give this probably a 5. I'm not impressed, but it's there and it works. I mean, it didn't actually do any crashing things while I was working with it, except the one time where I did so intentionally. So I'm not actually going to worry about this too much. The one thing they had a problem with was the one thing that they made the disclaimer about very early on. So as long as you follow instructions, you won't have any problems working it. If you want, honestly, if I wanted to introduce my 6-year-old to Alice in Wonderland, this might be the way I would do it. I'd have to play it. I'd have to read it the rest of the way through to make sure that there was nothing completely untoward towards the end. But I don't think there will be, because there really wasn't anything like that in the original novel. But beyond that, I'd probably give it a pass. Like the last game we did, Stargazers. This is one of those that came to me from the publisher by way of their PR firm, and much as I'd love to praise it, I just can't. I'm sorry. All right, so
It's cute, but
yeah, I'm not feeling this.
mm,
All right, so that's gonna be it for us then. Uh, Once again, be safe, be sane, and
let's make things fun again. Our books, like, I don't know, hmm, something's not there.
yeah,
Um,
it's missing that charm.
I wouldn't even give a low grade for this. Um, I might give it even a 6 because of the art of the treatment and such, but I just wouldn't recommend it.
Nope, I'm not inclined to either. So, uh, folks, have a nice evening.